We don't do the same drugs no more. We don't do the same drugs. Do the same drugs no more. Cause she don't do the same drugs no more. We don't do the same drugs. Do the same drugs no more. When did you change? When did you aged? I thought you never grow up. I thought you never. Window closed. Wendy got old. I was too late. A shadow of what I once was. Cause we don't do the same drugs no more. We don't do the same drugs. Do the same drugs no more.
What's going on? What's good? Great morning, everybody. Coach Sagas, no sugar in my coffee. You already know what time it is. Yes. Hey, you know what time it is. It's Monday morning. It's time to get your grind on. And I want to definitely share something with you guys because it is one of my mentors, one of my teachers, one of the great and one of the legends, Dr. Martin Luther King. It's his birthday, so I wanted to share something with you that really moved me in a different direction over the weekend. And so I'm going to share this with you because one of the things that I took away is this particular thing. He says, free at last, thank God Almighty, we're free at last. It was those powerful words that a great America would be changed. It was those powerful words America's great civil rights leader would help to persuade the minds of individuals. Stun the world in the 60s when he opened up on national television and radios around the world. Those specific words, free at last, thank God I'm free at last. Dr. Martin Luther King, like Nelson Mandela of South Africa, Gandhi of India, and other lesser social deliverers that help to influence people to move out of their bondage. And so I'm going to share something with you guys because this particular thing, I had to go back into my library and I had to find and research this out. And what I'm about to share with you guys, I can only hope and persuade and ask and beg of you to share this feed out. Whether you're on Live Me, whether you're on Periscope, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, nonetheless that you share this out because those powerful words, free at last, thank God Almighty, free at last, transformed the monotony of thinking when it came to people in America, when it came to a culture, when it came to being more disciplined. And what I'm about to share with you are just those words. So this is by one of the greats, long before Martin Luther King, long before Malcolm X, long before Abraham Lincoln, long before Eric Thomas, long before Tony Robbins, long before this individual spoke these words to a group of individuals, to a massive group, to a massive audience. And he said this. He says, brethren, count not myself to the reprehend, but this one thing do I, forget those things which are behind and reach forward unto those things which are before, to leave back the old things and to reach forward for the new things. Hold on, I'm not done. In this second chapter, the great apostle Paul says this. He says, fill me with joy that he be like-minded, having the same love, being for one accord of your one mind. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but lowliness of mind. Let each esteem others better themselves. A great testimony of what the Apostle Paul, like Dr. Martin Luther King, expressed, like Nelson Mandela, like Gandhi of India, expressed. When you change your attitude of mind, you start to see a different view of life. And today in America, like straight up, no disrespect, I love my country and I'm thankful so much for the people in it and those who put on the uniform. But I can honestly tell you that we are divided. That the long words, free at last, thank God Almighty, free at last, those words have been forgotten. Because the mind has not been transformed. And so I'm gonna share something else with you guys. I had to go back into my library. This is an 1828 English dictionary. For those that don't know, it did cost me a little bit more money, but nonetheless, yes, I could have gone to my Siri. Yes, I could have gone to Google. Yes, I could have gone to Chrome or any other platform or search engine. But none of them are better than this right here. None of them can compare to this right here. You hear what I'm saying? So what I did, I'm going to share this with you guys. Check this out. This is what the great Apostle Paul, this is what the great legend, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, the list goes on. I mean, the list goes on with great legacy. I have yet to see another individual touch the earth and the earth heart as they did. But it says this specifically. It says discipline, educate, instruct, cultivate, and improve, comprehend instruction in art, science, and correct statements. Hold up, because there's another part to this. Hold up, don't go nowhere. Because the second part says this. He says discipline in this specific book. It says discipline to instruct or educate, to inform the mind. I'm not done. Okay, hold up, I'm not done. Because this second part really goes with it. Because in desire, it specifically says an emotion or excitement of the mind. Free at last, thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. Those simple words. If you cannot fly, run. If you cannot run, walk. If you cannot walk, by any means, move forward. He was being absolutely specific. With emotion, desire, with emotion, with excitement of the mind, directed at the attainment of possession of a subject, from which pressure, or by the Spirit moved. So when I look back on Martin Luther King, he described move. First tell me what you work. First tell me what you do for a living. What do I do for a living? I'm an educator. What do I do for a living? I'm a father. I'm a husband for 20 years. So people on Periscope are asking, what do I do for a living? If you have not been following me long enough, I suggest, and I can only recommend that you follow me. That you follow me straight up. Because no sugar in my coffee, for those people that don't know, is giving you information. No sugar in it, man. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to give it to you absolutely raw and real. Because that's what it's about. That's what life is. And for those that don't know, like discipline, I just read you discipline out of the English dictionary, 1828. To educate the mind. What do you think Martin Luther King was doing? Educating the mind and heart to be driven, to move themselves. Yes, educator in a school. I educate also my children at home. I also educate those adults that have no correlation of the equivalence to move forward. You get what I'm saying? Definitely. I thank you guys so much on Facebook, Periscope, and Live Me, Instagram, YouTube. Thank you guys so much for sharing this feed out. But nonetheless, Dr. Martin Luther King made a very strong statement. And in those specific words, he said, true freedom is a matter of the mind, not of human law. Did you hear what I said? He made it absolutely true. He made it absolute strong statement. He said, true freedom is the matter of the mind. He had a desire. One more time, the emotion or excitement of the mind. And too many times we go through life and we run into people that have lost focus. Do you hate other religion? Religion is what? A science. Religion is a belief system. Religion is an education of some theologian, theatrical information. And I can honestly tell you, like, I don't have a religion. I have a strong faith. Like Dr. Martin Luther King, who had a strong faith. Like Nelson Mandela, like Gandhi, like Malcolm X, like all these great leaders in life, they have a purpose. And I'm living in my purpose. You get what I'm saying? Like living in my best life, living with a purpose. And so I look, honey, what's going on? Yep. Nelson, thank you so much. Lost their mind. But not in a good way, Nelson. As my man said, not in a good way for those who are watching on Facebook or YouTube. But a great point. Nelson Fox said, people have lost their mind. I'm from India and I know about Gandhi. Hey, thank you so much for chiming in from India. And I know reading Gandhi, having his autobiography, having Martin Luther King's autobiography, having Andrew Carnegie's autobiography, having Abraham Lincoln and Henry Ford. And I have almost 20 different autobiographies in my library. And out of the 20 autobiographies, I have read 7 impacting. Over the last course of 5 years, I have devoured and understood exactly what Andrew Carnegie, what Henry Ford, what Nelson Mandela, what Martin Luther King was saying. They were being very specific that if you don't change your mind and the attitude of life, the key ingredient for success and happiness will not be unveiled unto you. I'm just saying, like, don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just expressing to you that so many times we go through life, we always, like I said, the scripture is real. It says this one more time. Paul says this, Paul, the great apostle, says this. He says, brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching for the things that are before. Simple words. To express simple words in black and white. To express, as Dr. Martin Luther King said, free at last, thank God Almighty, free at last. Those given words help to express the true freedom. The true freedom is a matter of the mind and not of the law of man. And too many times we run into people that are worried about the law of man. They're not focused. They lost their focus. When I meet a homeless, as I was talking to a brother this weekend, he's helping the homeless veterans in America. And one of the things that I expressed to him, I said, this is only for a short moment. But until they find their focus, until people like that have come into an agreement and they have a full understanding and they start feeding the mind, then they move forward. They're filled with the desire. What did I tell you desire was? Right here, the desire says, it says, desire 1828 English Dictionary says emotion or excitement of the mind. So when you transform the things that were behind you, I was abused. I was sexually abused as a kid. I was taken from my mother's warm, loving heart and hands and placed into foster care. I remember sleeping in abandoned buildings. I remember going through the trash can of Dunkin' Donuts. I remember, but today it's a new man. I remember being a whoremonger. I remember being a drunkard. I remember being a drug addict. I remember, but I can't. It says right here, he says to watch things I leave behind and reach forward to the things before. Desire, excitement, emotion. You know what I'm saying? Emotion. It says right here, an emotion or excitement of the mind. And as I said, as directed as I gave it to you guys, and I expressed it to you, it says in discipline, it's very simple. It says discipline, to instruct, to educate, to inform the mind. So when I look back on what the great Apostle Paul was saying, when I look back at what Nelson Mandela was saying, when I look back at what Gandhi was saying, when I look back at what Martin Luther King was saying, true freedom is a matter of the mind, not of the law of man. Discipline. And for those that don't know, but in the Greek, discipline is disciple. Disciple. Discipline. So are you a disciple? Are you a disciple or are you being deceived? You got to think about it, man. Are the small voices in your mind, are they telling you to go backwards or are they telling you to go forward? You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on? Definitely honored and privileged to be on this platform with every single one of you guys on. I am honored, privileged, and blessed by the Most High to give all glory to Him for this opportunity. And thank you so much to the engineers out there that make it possible. Again, this is long before my time. Again, I look back. Normally, I'm on all these platforms at 6 a.m. on the West Coast time. Today is what? It's 8:26. And you've heard it from my own mouth. Yo, who's this? Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore. What's going on, Mr. Moore? Yep, Edward Moore. What's going on? So, nonetheless, thank you guys so much to everybody on Facebook, everybody on Periscope. Many blessings to you guys on YouTube, on Instagram, and Live Me. Thank you guys so much for joining. I hope that you took away something. As I say all the time, man, straight up. I'm not asking you to believe everything. But I'm asking you to take away one thing that you apply to your life. Because if there's anything I've ever learned from all the books that I've read so far, as I told Mr. Fox today, I said, I'm hoping my aim for today is to finish these 2 books. And I will be 5 books this year. A man once said that you must educate and plant and water and fertilize the seed. To cultivate the mind is to cultivate your life. And I can only impress upon you that if you truly want to go to the next level in your life, whatever you are looking for in the next level of your life, whether it's to be happy, whether it's to be a good husband, to be a great father, to be a great educator, I don't know, only you know. But once you face that real truth, when you start to face that real truth and you break free from the monotony of the distractions, when you break free from oppression, that's when true freedom works. In reading of the lives of great men, I found that the first victory they won was in themselves. And for those that don't know, that was a quote by one of my favorites, Harry S. Truman. But he was specifically talking about self-discipline. Self-discipline. So I hope that you took something away. Many blessings to you guys. Have a great and fabulous day. And as always, man, you got to make it a masterpiece. Okay? Make it a masterpiece. Many blessings to you guys. I'm out.